That's a graduate of IUEA. And that graduate is from our Department of Architecture as a star architect designing your skyscrapers, villas, whatever. But again, we'll be more proud if we have an architect that is responsible. So to be a responsible architect, it is as equal as being a star architect. And this is why we're here. Those informal settlements are equally our responsibility. We have to deal with them. We have to study them. This is why, if you could remember, those that we did 2.1, 2.2, that's majorly why we are putting our energy, because they are part of our urban fabric. Whether we like it or not, we have to deal with it. So let me cut this short because we are running late. Now I'm going to call Madam Priscilla. She's going to give you a brief introduction about the awards, how did the awards came to be, how we became successful in securing the awards. Then she will introduce Architect Benish, who is the Secretary General of the African Union of Architects, who was here with us last September, if those of you that were with us in the conference, you will remember. So he will be our first guest lecturer. Now we'll hear from Madam Priscilla. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shema. Thank you to our VC. Thank you for honoring this event and being present. And thank you to the students that applied to join the course, the students that are just interested, the students that were in the building, happened to be in the building, and decided to pass by to give our guests an audience. We hope you learned something. I am Priscilla Namwanje Waseka. I'm an urbanist and a researcher, and my current research work is centered on exploring the pattern language methodology. So I partnered with IUEA, Faculty of Engineering, actually Department of Architecture, and we tried our luck and applied for the Obel Award Teaching Fellowships, and they were looking to fund new courses dealing with seminal challenges in African cities. So we shot our shot and we received the award. So this course will be running here. It was only given to 3 other universities in the entire world. So IUEA is the 4th, which is, yes, which has put our university on the map. And what it allows is to have expert voices from the continent and from abroad to come and share with us their knowledge. So the first we have today is Mr. Vinesh. Some of you met him last September. He wears many hats, but today he's an architect, and I will give him the opportunity to introduce himself. But why we began with Mr. Vinesh's lecture is because we want all of you to have your minds opened to understand the context within which this discussion lies. So he shall present on contemporary African cities. And please, even if you don't do architecture, this is relevant to all of us, engineers, architects, whoever is interested in seeing Africa move forward. So please give him your full attention, ask questions, take advantage of this opportunity, and yeah, enjoy. So Mr. Vinesh, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Architect Priscilla. VC, thanks for the hospitality once again. Acting Dean, thanks again to welcoming me as well. Fellow students, I think I will keep it quite informal, not too architectural. We'll just go through a small journey together. So let me begin by asking you here in this room, how many architecture students are present? Or better said, who are from other departments than architecture? Can you raise your hands? Non-architects in the room? You're all architects. So why are you too shy? Okay, one at the back. 2. Please, let's gain some time. I just want to understand the audience. Okay, so we have a couple there. You're in which faculty? Business. Okay, we'll speak about business for architects. Are you ready for that? You want to make money? Okay, then let's start. All right, so I want to share a small experience. How many amongst you know my nationality? Those who know, don't say, but how many amongst you know? Okay, a very few. Okay, so gentlemen from the business department or faculty, what's your good name? Jérôme. This is very French, okay? So my nationality is? Mine. You should have said Indian, because that's most of the time people say. All right, but I'm Mauritian. I'm from Africa. Do you know Mauritius? How many amongst you never heard about Mauritius? Mauritius, do you know? You don't know? Okay, no problem. Doesn't matter much. It's so small that many people don't even know where it's located. So I've traveled from Mauritius to Kampala. It has been a struggle. Connectivity in Africa is a big challenge. So I had to travel for, I would say, nearly 20 hours. Okay, nearly 20 hours to reach here. 2 flights, but in between the flights, quite an interesting story, but I'll keep it for a different occasion. We speak about Africa, but what Africa are we speaking about? The past, the today, or the future Africa? This is a fundamental question that I ask myself as an African, as a Mauritian, and as someone who travels a lot across the continent. I've traveled nearly more than 30 countries, be it the northern part, central, western, eastern, or southern part of the continent. And in each region, we do have challenges, a lot of challenges. But like the VC said, we do also have a lot of opportunities, okay? And it all depends how you seize every single opportunity, okay, and transform it to your advantage. Now, one question. Do you know the origins of the word or the name Africa? Anyone? We are in Africa, right? Do you know the origins of that name? Anyone? That's nothing to do with architecture. Do you like history? Yes? How many? Let's be interactive, please. It will help me. Okay, just one gentleman who likes history. 2, okay. Well, anyways, so this is the original name of our continent, Alkebulan, okay, which is an indigenous name as per certain research, and basically it is the mother of mankind, or the Garden of Eden, like one would call. So the term Africa has been given to us by others. According to you, who are the others? Loud, please. Europeans. Are you sure? No, you need to be sure. It is an opportunity here. You're sure. That's good. Right. So, what has been happening across the continent? We may speak about cities, and we keep on speaking about cities. We speak about Kampala, we talk about Nairobi, about Lagos. According to you, do we only have cities across the continent? What do we have then? Please be a bit more vocal. Anyone? Louder. Henry. Okay, settlements. So this map, I think, VC, if I may invite you and Architect Priscilla to be also in the audience so that you can follow. Otherwise, you would be missing some important information. Acting Dean, if you don't mind. Sorry. Yeah. So it's a bit unfortunate that the projection is not clear enough, but you have some precious information about the early migration across the continent. So basically, you have the northern part, where you had the ancient, I would say, Roman Empire's imprint. Have you ever heard about Alexandria? Where is that today? This you know, that's good. Okay. The Nubian civilization or empire, you know, the Bantus. Okay. So when you look at the pink or magenta color and the arrows, that's the Nubian, how they moved to the west, to the central part of the continent. And those from the west part, how they moved towards the central, towards the south, and towards the eastern part. And that was at a quite early period and far before the colonial period. Okay? So why this information is important is just to come back to one key starting point about when we start speaking about urbanization. This is the next step with this map. On the extreme right-hand side, you will see, is it right? Sorry. No, left. Okay. So you will see a map which is actually pretty old, nearly, I would say, 600 years old, this map. Do you know this is the first known map of the continent? And it's drawn by whom, according to you? Lady. Louder, please. Europeans again. Who wants, anyone who wants to try something else? Who? Egyptians. Okay. Anyone else? A third one? Okay, no more trial. The first known map, yes? Romans? No. Okay. The first known maps were drawn by what we have today. It's by the Chinese. Yes. You're surprised. So it is a map which dates back the Great Ming Dynasty, and it dates 1389. Okay, so you're surprised that the oldest map of Africa that we have here today, tangible, is drawn by Chinese. Is it surprising to you? Why? Chinese are everywhere today, no? They were also there before. You think they weren't here before? Or it's just in recent years that they are appearing everywhere in Africa, according to you again? So, Jérôme, the business guy. So, you think Chinese were well in Africa 600 years ago? So he's really a businessman because he didn't think much, he said, of course. Right? Okay, so that map, what you see as the dark, sorry, I don't have a pointer, so I don't know if I can show it. But you see in the middle, let me see if I can still, yeah. You know what's this? That's Lake Victoria. And you know what's that? You can guess it then. Sorry? That's the Red Sea. And you know what's that here? This one? Indeed, this is the Nile River. All right. So there are other maps that will follow. I won't go into the details, but it's just to show you. Okay, again, I'm very sad that the colors and the details are not coming out properly on the maps. But over the centuries, I mean, all those explorers who prepared great maps about the continent kept on exploring, and yeah, I'm really sorry. The color is really much different here, like as compared there. So I can't help it. Sorry for that. So I would just maybe skip all those details, but it was just to say that over the years, if you can see the profile of the continent, the outline of the continent started getting more and more precise. Yeah, okay, maybe it's a bit helpful, okay? So from the 16th century, okay, you keep on moving to the 18th century, and then in the 19th century. And you see how the contour gets more precise with more information. Now, why Africans, in between brackets, they hardly made maps about the continent? Can anyone just share his or her thoughts about this? Anyone? A volunteer? The rapper. Do you think Africans had the need to make maps for themselves? Simple yes or no? No. Why? Yeah. So they were not even caring about the rest. So they said there's water all around the continent, so let's stick here, no need for maps. Okay, fine, okay, it's a good reasoning, I would say. Yes? Do we have a second mic eventually? No, I'm not sure. Okay, so you will need to speak a bit louder maybe. Yeah, that was still, I would say, intelligence. They needed to document, the navigators, they needed to understand the sales route, they had to document, and each time they needed to find, I would say, stop points or port of calls where they would get fresh water, food, and so on. So they started by looking the coastline of the continent, and progressively they started getting more inland and to discover a lot of our treasures, like you can imagine. So again, I'm really sorry, because those maps are extremely important. I'll try to guide you through. The first one on the top left-hand side, it shows the main African empires, ancient civilizations. So from the Ghanaian Empire, Malian Empire, Nubian, and also you have the Mutapa Empire. Who knows about the Mutapa Empire? You know? Louder, louder. No. Mutapa. M-U-T-A-P-A. You don't know? Okay. So I say to you, it's not an architecture class. Huh? It's about understanding our origins and how we have evolved. And that forms part of the pattern that we cannot neglect. It's our DNA, basically, that I'm talking about. Then you have the map. Anyone? Sorry? Who said that? Raise your hand. Oh, Visi. I think you're not allowed to answer. Thank you, Visi. Yeah, it is about the partition of Africa, but it's prior to the partition of Africa, because at that time, there were already a number of well-settled, I would say, colonies in the continent, but there were no clear boundaries. So I would say Europeans, when we talk about Europeans, we need to be specific here. We have the French, the British, the Portuguese, and also the Dutch. They were among the most influential, I would say, sailors at that time, and they were also amongst the strongest colonies. They had their strongest colonies all across the continent. And then in 1913, that's where we started having the clear division of the continent, at least on paper, geopolitical chart, okay, where we started having like straight lines subdividing, okay, our continent. So this is it in basic terms. So far, is it clear what I'm trying to build as, I would say, a narrative which exists, which is our history? Is it clear to you so far? Please, this will help me again. I need regular feedback. Is it clear? Yes. Okay, great. Can I continue? If it is not interesting, I will skip. I continue on that same pace? Okay, I continue then. Now, again, just to bat